Therapy Army, let's be having you. Therapy Army. Welcome to the preview. Congratulations to Manchester United on their 18th team. Champions. The best team of Manchester United put out this season. Big up to them. Champions. The best team of Manchester. Big up, Sean. I hope you're well, Sean.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Nerdin. I was disappointed with Chelsea today. I hoped they would have been able to give us some joy. But yeah, us not trust them, and it's up to us tomorrow to try and get 2 points from Sheffield United. Which is kind of where we are, right? We're hopeful against Sheffield.
Arsenal smashed them. To be fair, the first half, Chelsea got back into it. Jackson just keeps missing chances. He's got everything in his game, but he just can't put the ball at the back of the net. The most important thing.
Yeah, I mean that it comes from confidence now. They're Chelsea guys in a really bad place. I think Chelsea is an example of why you shouldn't try and buy a whole new squad for one season, because it almost never works out. They basically tried to buy a whole new 11, and it didn't work. It hasn't worked, and I think something like that is almost impossible to implement successfully. I think you're on mute.
A team of ours, the under 18th, have won the champions tonight. Big up to them.
Yeah, big up to them. Hopefully, some of them find their way into the first team squad soon.
Yeah, let's hope and pray that some of them make it. So we got the preview for Sheffield United versus Manchester United from tomorrow night. We got Tenhag's usual waffle, so we'll get into some of that, people. And then Ineos, just with this Ashworth saga, you either get the guy, pay what you have to pay, or you move on. But they're not moving on, so it's just mad. Honestly, it's mad. I don't understand what's going on, but Wilcox apparently is the guy now. That's the guy that's in, and he's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah, I mean, but I tried to explain on one of the other shows, right? That Ashworth transfer is going to be very difficult to pull off. Just aside from the cost of getting him to come to United, I think Liverpool Newcastle have every reason to make it as difficult as possible for United to get Ashworth. If I understand his role properly, he probably had insight into their plans, in the transfer market for next season, their plans in general for the club. And at this stage, since we're not competing with City, the likes of City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, we're competing with Newcastle and Villa. And I think they have every right to, try and make it as difficult as possible for a competitor of theirs to take one of their key executive staff. So I fully understand why it's taking so long. I also understand why, Ineos and Sir Jim might find it a bit difficult to give up all the money basically that Newcastle are asking for, especially given the market that we're in right now. £10 million or dollars could go a long way, in signing a player. I don't know if that's the money that they want to spend necessarily on an executive, given that, based on what many United fans want, they will probably have to spend again to get rid of Tenhag and his coaching staff. They'll probably have to spend again to bring in a new manager who they'll probably be getting from another club, unless it's Tuchel. And I know we'll get into that, but yeah, I mean, it's difficult and it's complicated, right? And I think Ineos, I think they're moving in the right direction, but I would encourage fans not to get too bogged down in the weeds of, Ashworth coming in now versus 2 weeks from now or anything. It's going to take some time, and they clearly have the right ideas.
Big up, Zane. Well, I agree with some of the things you said, Sean, but I disagree with a lot of things you said. Big up, Zane Miyasi says, future champions, King Kai, world class. Where were you last Wednesday, man? Where were you last week, Zane Miyasi? Where were you last week?
That's why I'm obsessed with Chelsea.
Where were you on last weekend? Where were you when Villa buried you, danced on your, Ollie Watkins danced on you, dunked on your boys? Where were you when Bayern Munich dunked on your boys, eh? Hey, where were you? You only come here singing with your super chats when you're winning. You're only singing when you're winning. Sing when you're winning. You only sing when you're winning. It is what it is. Big up we got my brother Lesso, and we also got the main man Jarvis. Man, like Jarvis.
Hello.
How you doing, Jarvis?
Yeah, I'm good. Just watched the Arsenal game. 5-0. That's quite good. They look good. But what's going on?
Honestly, I'm not lying to you.
Chelsea's like Man United. You never know what you're gonna get with those guys.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You need to get a bodyguard. You need to just get 5 bodyguards to protect him. Norway can go to the next World Cup. I'm telling you, Odegaard is incredible, man. Woo!
Yeah.
That boy is so talented. The ball sticks to his feet. Honestly, it's like he's got this velvet. He's got this velvet left foot. It's unbelievable.
I agree, Nordin. He's fantastic, and always talk about the Zinedine Zidane. You gotta remember, guys. If you big up Zidane, he rejected Odegaard. He didn't like him. He had him as coach on the Real Madrid Casilla. Real Madrid B team. He didn't let him play, and when he became the Real Madrid manager, he booted him out. He didn't want Odegaard in the team. So he's not the guy who spots talents. If you like the under 18s winning today, I don't think Zidane is the next manager for us.
But you know what? You know the saying, one man's poison in another man's food, or how does it go? It just goes to show you how fickle football is. Essentially, the same thing goes for De Bruyne at Chelsea. Mourinho didn't rate him. And De Bruyne, eventually went on to be one of the best footballers basically in the world. Different people view football from different, lenses. And Odegaard, basically, even when he came to Arsenal fans were not sure of it, but now I'm sure of him. But now Arsenal is playing well, they're in form, and with that good form and that good spirit, essentially everybody in the team looks very good at this point in time. I mean, Odegaard is a good player, no doubt, but yeah,
but it's true, Sean. But the thing with young players' talents, it's not that hard to spot young talents. You see their potential. What you don't know is their consistency, how good they will be over time, and how they will develop. But you could see early on, even when Odegaard was 16 years old or even 15 years old, he played in the Norwegian Premier League. He was bobbing the center backs, 30-year center backs around. He was so technical. He was fantastic. So you knew right away. I actually knew right away that he was going to be a star player. You could see it in his qualities. But it's hard. It's just one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those things now, right? For every Odegaard, there is a Fraser Campbell, or what's this guy that was in United that everybody said was really good. This young guy who was on Rio's podcast or so recently. But yeah, no, you can never really tell these things in football.
Andreas
and also, I think
Pereira, the preseason Perlo.
Yeah, I mean that's another example, right? Pereira. But with young players, also it depends on the player's profile and what a manager is looking for. So, given this type of football that Zidane played at Madrid, Odegaard seems like a more intricate player. Requires like a high intensity.
No, Sean, no blasphemy here. Odegaard.
What's the blasphemy? I've said
can play with any team. Can play in any team. He's just a wonderful footballer. He can play in any team, whether it's counter-attacking football, whether it's high pressing game, whether it's very passing game. He can play in any.
I don't feel strongly about it either way.
Listen, he's talented, and he's not just only talented, but he works incredibly hard. His dedication is there, running, win or lose or draw. He's Arsenal's best player week in, week out. Big up to everybody. We'll bring in Lesso, Bumbaye. But first of all, we want to just, since some of you are in here, we want to just big up the best team from Manchester United this season. They're beating Man City 2-1 tonight. Manchester United on the 18th are the champions, Premier League champions. And they're probably the best team we're going to produce, unless the women's team win the FA Cup against Spurs this summer. They are the best team, so big up to them. We hope and pray at least 5 or maybe 4 or 5 of them make it to become Manchester United regulars. We hope and pray. That's what we hope. We hope and pray that's who they become. Big up to them. Love and light. Yeah, let's get on with the show, people. So we're doing a preview, and then I want to talk about Tenhag's Waffles again today, coming out with some about that the fact that people feel it was an embarrassing win. He said it was a disgrace. Yeah, 100%. Everybody, yeah. I've heard about this player. I heard about him. I've actually heard about this player. Yeah,
17 years old. It's the next every big
yeah.
club is scouting him. Man United actually scouted him last summer. He was the player of the season for Rosenborg in the Norwegian Premier League. 17 years old. Fantastic. He will go to a big club.
Do we know who this is support?
No, I don't know. But all I know is Rafael Pimenta is his agent. You know, the woman who took over for Holland's agent.
Yeah.
So he
Minarola.
Yeah.
Well, we're not getting him. We're not getting him. All the best luck to that. He's gonna go to somewhere. Somebody's gonna buy him. They're gonna loan him to Dortmund, and then they're gonna bring him back. That's the journey for him.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna do for him. That sport agency has a plan for players. That's how they like to do. And they like to, every couple of years, they like to move the player to a bigger club.
I think Maxwell is the sports agency. Maxwell.
Yeah. Everybody gets paid. Agents get fat rich. Player gets paid. There we go. Big up to everybody. So love and light. So let's just let you know what's coming up on the tonight's show, people. Tonight's show. What's going on tonight's show, people? We got the Ashworth saga. We already touched on a little bit. Tuchel rumors. I told you from day dot it was Waffle. Tenhag Waffle as usual coming out. So we'll get into that. But first, let's get into the preview. We shared a couple of stats with them actually. They're gonna get relegated. They're probably one of the worst teams to come up. They're probably one of the worst teams to come up. But we share a lot with them. So let's get into them, people. Let's get into them. Hey, here we go. Let me just give you my little script. Manchester United will check on the fitness Scott McTominay, Marcus Rashford, who both suffered knocks during Sunday's FA Cup semi-final. Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes should be fit. Kimbala, Mason Mount missed the Wembley trip. Sheffield United's Ollie McBurney, Gustav Hammer could miss out for sustaining muscle strains on Saturday. He was one of their best players, that guy, if I'm not mistaken, Gustavo Hammer. He scored a brilliant goal. Jack Robinson might return while Tom Davis, Ryan Brewster, and Daniel Jacobson are back in light training. Match facts. Manchester United only defeat in the past 10 Premier League meetings came last time fixture were played at Old Trafford. Oh, that was the day that I was done with David De Gea, 2021, during lockdown. That was the day I was like, David De Gea, you shitbag, get the hell out of this football club. The Blades can win back-to-back competitive away fixtures versus the Red Devils for the first time since top flight victories in 1973. Manchester United only victory in the past 7 Premier League games was a home at Everton in March, drawing 3, losing 3. Eric Tenhag's side could go 5 league matches without a win for the first time since 2019. The Red Devils have conceded 74 goals in all competitions, their most in any campaign for 45 years. Let me repeat that again. The Red Devils have conceded 74 goals in all competition this season. The worst campaign for 45 years. They have faced 20 or more shots in either last 6 Premier League matches since such data was first recorded in 2003. Only Blackpool have been longest such run in the division, spanning 8 fixtures. Bruno Fernandes has 5 goals in his last 5 Premier League appearances, scoring in each of his last 3. Sheffield United is United's sole victory in 16 league games away. 3 went away at Luton Town in February, drawing 3, losing 12. The Blades have conceded 88 goals in the Premier League, leaving them just 1 behind Derby's record of 89 in 38 matches. Gustavo Hammer needs one more goal to become the third Sheffield United player to register 5 goals and 5 assists in a Premier League campaign, emulating Brian Dean and Dan Whitehouse. Ollie McBain has failed to score in his last 31 Premier League away appearances. However, McBurney could become the first Sheffield United player to score both top-flight fixtures against Manchester United in the season since Derek Pace in 1962-62. So there you go, people. There you go, people. You got it. You got what you wanted. We put it out there. I'll go to Lesso first. Lesso, Manchester United don't win this game. Man United don't win this game. They've got the worst record, like I said. They've already conceded 88 goals. 88 goals. If Manchester United don't win this game, should the fans get on the pitch and grab hold of the players?
I mean, I don't think they'll do that. But personally, here in South Africa, we've seen that happen a lot of times, especially with the team that people support here, especially the majority, the biggest team in South Africa. We've seen fans get on the pitch and chase these players and ask them what is wrong with you guys. Where's your commitment? Where's your your passion? What's happening? Are you guys just playing for your salaries or what's happening? So, but yeah, man, with Man United, I mean, it doesn't bode well for us. When I think about it, these records we just keep breaking them at this point. And we just don't know which one we're gonna break next. I mean, there's so many records we've already broken. I've lost count of them altogether. But yeah, no excuses for me if we don't win. Like we said, Sheffield faced the same problems that we faced during the season. With regards to injuries, they've always missed their key players in defense. Always, and there's always been a problem. That's why they've been languishing right at the bottom. It's because of key defensive players were missing for most of the season. So it's just unfortunate, but Man United have to win this game. We have to be ruthless. I honestly don't have faith in any of these players at this point. After what they did against Coventry, disgrace. Even with the manager coming out and blasting the media instead of blasting the team and saying, this has not been good enough. It hasn't been a good enough performance. But instead, we go for the media and we tell them that, it's disgusting what they're doing. But our performances are just not well. We can't expect people to just look the other way and praise us for what almost happened against Coventry and what's still going to happen in that final, because we're not winning that final against City. Everyone knows that we're basically screwed in that final. So but in this game, more or less, they have to get 3 points. I heard that our new technical director has been in training and he has been watching what we actually are doing in training, because I think to some point they also don't understand that how on earth are we here where this manager has been in charge for 2 seasons and we still don't see no patterns of play. We still don't see a style of play. We still do not, like, we still look like strangers after 2 seasons, which does not make any sense. So for them to go on and do an audit report, it means that things are really that bad. No matter how you try to spin it, it's exceptionally bad. It's not acceptable at any level. If you're Luton Town, like I say, even all of these teams have been, they have an identity. We don't have it. So, it's really that bad, guys. But yeah, we should be winning that game. No excuses for me.
Yeah, big up. Sajinder says, Tenhag, when he said all areas come to an end, I didn't realize he was talking about us. Bumbaye, I'll go to you. How you doing, Bumbaye? Hey?
Evening, guys. Evening, Therapy Army. Just on the Martin Odegaard and De Bruyne, let me just set that straight. Zidane had him for 1 season only. Carlo had him when he was bought, and he went on loan the 2 subsequent seasons. So even if he was, he arrived ready-made to play at the starting, he's never going to get into a team with that kind of midfield. So I don't know. I think it's a bit harsh to say Zidane don't play youth. I think he's still an unknown quantity, and no youth players are going to be getting in when his mandate is to get Madrid firing again. And it's not a time to be playing youth. And no youth players are getting in when you've got Kroos and Casemiro, Modric at the top of their game, and guys like Bale and Ronaldo and Benzema. That's a tall order. And De Bruyne, Jose never wanted him to go. He actually bought Mo Salah. So this is a fallacy. But De Bruyne took a risk like Sancho and said, you know what, Jose, I understand you've got Lampard, got an amazing team. And he played him, First 6 games he played him, and he was indifferent, to be honest, Kevin De Bruyne. He did all right. But, you got these big players, man. We're going for the league. No time to mess around. We play Mainu because we're shit. We play Garnacho because we have no other option. You have to have the opportunity to promote youth sometimes. You can't just play youth. You have goals to get. So I just say that about that. For me, what you're asking me about Sheffield United?
Yeah.
Well, at this stage of the season, we just roll with the punches now. I hope we can go to Sheffield, we can play good, get a result. And Eric Tenhag, to be fair to him, bro, I don't think he's waffling. And I'm only saying that if I was the manager. Yes, it's not good how Manchester United allowed them back in the game. When they controlled the game, it's 3-0, the game is finished, and then there's such a turnaround is allowed like that. But end of the day, we're through to the final. Do you know what I mean? For the neutral, that's the final everybody wanted to see. FA Cup can do that sometimes, that kind of craziness. We've seen it many times, giant killings. We were almost on the end of that. And the players were getting ready for a real spit roasting, man. Bad by everybody. And they've just marginally escaped it. So what's he supposed to say? You're right. We should be ashamed of ourselves and embarrassed at ourselves. No, I'm sure he will tell them, boys, what the hell? And they will thank God that they've gotten through. But you know what? If I have to choose between my manager saying he's waffling and the English media, I go with my manager every day, because all they do is, I don't watch them anymore. They don't ask anything about football. I don't learn anything about football from English media. All I learn about is bullshit, about Sancho, about Pogba, about this, about that. They don't. What's the point in them? You're supposed to be talking and asking pertinent questions about the game before it and after it, like we're doing here for our viewers. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Who are you going to play in this game? How did you feel the game went? Who played well? Who didn't? What can we change? Nobody asks anything like that in these anymore. Only the few guys maybe that are actual fans, like that are allowed into these press conferences, will ask a question that is football related. You may as well give these press conferences to people that don't like football, that read OK magazine and gossip columns. That's who they're for. So, you know what I mean? Eric, it's not going fabulous. But what I like about Eric, and this is one thing that I do like about Eric, he's been under tremendous pressure since the day he got here with the amount of bullshit with Ronaldo and Sancho and Rashford and Mason Greenwood. It has been horrendous. And Maguire. It's been disastrous every week. And he's dealt with it really, really well. And I like the way he basically told them to up yours, guys. No, why should we be embarrassed? We are in an FA Cup final. We know what it is as fans, yes. But I'm not going to sign their checks. And I don't expect him to sign their checks. Fuck them. So for me, he done the right thing. Don't give them no bullets. They don't deserve no bullets. We're in the final, and if we win it, then do you know what I mean? We'll have that conversation when we get there. And that's really my take on this press conference of his. If he said yes, I'd have been pissed off with him and very disappointed. That's for us to decide to talk about in our dressing room in the confines of our club, not for publicly. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Tell your players you should be ashamed of yourself and embarrassed yourself. It happened, man. It happens.
No, but
The
he
second
did.
goal was a disaster. What did he do?
No, right. As in, he did. There's reporting that Tenhag was furious at the players, that he did tear into them in the dressing room.
I'm sure he
Right.
did. That's
So
what I'm
yeah, he
saying to you.
did.
Is I'm sure he did. But for the press conference, I've not got a problem with him pushing right back at them and saying, "No, why should we be embarrassed? Why are you calling us a disgrace? You're a
No,
disgrace
likewise.
with your reactions." Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you on that, but my 1,000%. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Some fans, or the idea that basically Ten Hag should come out, contrite, and essentially be like, oh yes, we're a disgrace. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't deserve this job. Whatever. This is what
Sean,
I want to see from.
these press conferences, brother. Are it's like me throwing the five of you under the bus. No, I'll talk about that in private,
Yeah,
mate. For now,
yeah.
you're looking to me to be your general, your leader in the press conference. And one thing he's done is remain patient with a lot of players that are not doing their job, that are underperforming, and the team that is letting leads go sometimes. And he still comes out. He looks at the positives. He's trying to convince them and show them, look, I'm backing you. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but you got to help me. You got to work for me. So
I literally saw a United fan who was doing a match reaction, and literally said that Casemiro had the right idea for throwing away the game, and that the rest of the players should have followed suit in throwing away that game against Coventry. That's the type of nonsense that we're getting, and honestly, like, you're right about the media as well. Because aside from sports media, generally the media these days is nothing to write home about. Right, it's all about clicks and sensationalism.
Bullshit,
There's
bro.
no substance, basically.
Nothing.
It's a bit on the media, but I also blame us, the consumers, as well, because it's a mirror, essentially, right? They reflect back to us what we like to see. We like drama. We like to hear about nonsense. So the media gives us exactly what we want. I'm not going to take any excuses for the game against Sheffield. Honestly, like the game against Coventry, like the game against what was it that we drew. Honestly, and for me to be on the players, basically, this game against Sheffield, there's absolutely no reason why we should get anything less than 3 points in a game against Sheffield at Old Trafford. But then again, I know it's United we're talking about, and anything is possible. Like, actually, anything is possible.
Look,
so we can see it go awry.
Last thing, a good way, if this is a genuine press conference. Eric, are you concerned perhaps about the way that the tide turned and you couldn't quite arrest the situation and it had to go to penalties? What are your take on that? That's a question.
But that doesn't sell newspapers now, right? That doesn't bring clicks to
exactly.
your website.
This is why don't sign them and F them.
No, yeah, I mean, I like this version of Ten Hag. I want Ten Hag to fight, right? I want him to fight whoever it is that he needs to fight.
Sean, all due respect, the fight is gone.
What? I mean, you might say that now, Nuruddin. So you
go down. That's all he's doing. That's what he's saying.
I don't see it as waffling. I don't see it as waffling. I don't think that's waffling.
Let me finish, Sean. Let me finish. Anytime when it gets to this part of the season, when Manchester United were going to have their worst season in the history of Manchester United, Ollie was waffling, Jose waffled, David Moyes started waffling from the first day he got the job.
What does waffling even mean? Like, what is that?
Let me finish. Please.
Stop waffling, Nuruddin.
Calm down. Calm down, Sean. Calm down. They all from day dot, David Moyes, when he walked through that door, it's like a rabbit caught in the headlights. He was waffling from day dot. Louis van Gaal is somebody who's just was hilarious. Like, I'll never forget calling Mike Smalling, Chris Smalling, Mike Smalling, throwing himself to the ground to show.
Do you remember? I want you to be horny.
Yeah.
Matter's face.
That was the best. That was the best, right? So he was a comedian, yeah. Jose waffled. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer waffled. Eric Tenhag, Fraud is waffling again. I'll go to you, Jarvis. Manchester United don't win tomorrow. Should the fans get on the pitch? Yes or no?
Yeah, we should have.
Sheffield United are going to be the worst team ever to in the Premier League. I think. They're
Yeah,
on
but
record.
you shouldn't. You know me. You shouldn't underestimate this Sheffield United team. You know, Chris Wilder manager is a good manager, and he's not overcomplicating things. He plays in the 3-5-2. We know we struggle against the back three. We did it against Luton. We did it against who was it? The other team we just played. But anyway, the 3-5-2 formation doesn't suit us well. It doesn't give us a lot of space because it's crowded, you know, and he likes to cross the ball into the box. They play direct long ball. Chris Wilder was a good manager in 2019. I think he found a new recipe for I think it was overlapping center backs. That was his thing. He played with the three overloaded on one side and the three center backs. When the ball was shifted, one of the center back went around and overlapped to cross. So that was actually a Chris Wilder signature tactic. And I don't know if he still uses it. I haven't seen Sheffield United much this season, but you know, it's about plugging the holes on the side and stop all the crosses. We have seen the form of Aaron Wan-Bissaka lately. I'm not convinced. And the same with Harry Maguire. I think he's carrying a injury. I don't know how much he can run. So if they play when we press high, if they sit deep with the back five and hit us on the break with the long balls, I don't know. Maybe we will see Maguire struggling a little bit against McBurney and the other guys of Sheffield United. So I'm not taking anything for granted when it comes to this. You know, we could easily lose a game like this, and we know the players, they can't motivate themselves when they play against presumably worse opposition. And I don't know. So I'm not a super optimist, but we should beat them, and we can beat them if we do our job. And they have to play as we did in the first half against Coventry. You have to take down the ball, play with precision, keep possession, utilize Mainu. But I'm not sure even if Mainu is playing. You know, we played he was subbed, so maybe he will start. But I don't know with this team anymore. But should we crowd the pitch? Yeah, I would love to see that, but I don't think we will do anything. We will just sit there.
Are we storming the pitch?
1 second, Sean. 1 second. Big up, Tom. Tom, how you doing, bro? You good? The man who actually lives in Sheffield. We got a Sheffield resident here. Well, it's got a couple of he's got gaps all over the place. International man of mystery. 00 Tom. Forget 007. Where are you? Are you in the City of Steel? Or are you in London, Tom?
I'm still in London for now. So
still in London. So he's going to be missing the game tomorrow. I thought you might have gone home for the game tomorrow to see, you know, Sheffield. You be in Sheffield. But listen, talk to me. Talk to me, Tommy. Should the fans invade? Because by far and by a mile, Sheffield United are the worst Premier League team in history. What should happen?
regardless of injuries or anything, Man United have the players on that day. Forget tactics; they should just win the game. You know, either individual brilliance or whatever. But I think people forget a couple of years ago, anyway. With
1 minute, Tom. Watching Maguire triple from a defense into midfield is like watching Tractor conquer Indy 500. Dan, you know what? Don Roger. Big up to you, Don Roger. Ragnar. Yeah, Ragnar. Don Ragnar. Big up to you. You put on some blinders tonight. Go ahead, Tom. I'm gonna mute.
Yeah. No, with Sheffield United, I think people forget that a couple of years ago when Man United were supposedly anyway, when Droghi were top of the league, Sheffield United come to Old Trafford and they played us about. Jarvis pointed it out perfectly, especially under Chris Wilder. When they had that season where they first come up and they was expected to go down, and then they ended up playing a bit. It was something that was different that we'd not seen, where you have centre backs who overload not in like the space in midfield, they overload on the width and they play the back three and then transition to a back five when they defend against the ball. But it was something different that you'd not seen in the Premier League, but it was effective. based upon the quality of the league at that time. Now, when they come back in the Premier League, they have Paul Heckingbottom, who, to his standards anyway, he got them back into the Premier League. Fair enough, but Sheffield United for years anyway, they've had financial difficulties. The owner, who's a prince in the Middle East, he can't spend mega wealth amount of money due to the football structure that's in place with the Premier League system. When you go from Championship to the Premier League, he can't invest in the infrastructure with Bramall Lane, so he can't boost revenues that way based upon structure there. As a football club, they are they're the bracket that I always say. They're like a Norwich, a Leeds. They're that sort of club where I don't think they're made for the Premier League, tailor-made for the Premier League, but I think they're too good for the Championship. They're in that mid to low bracket between the two leagues. But this season, anyway, they've been absolutely gas. I'll be very honest with you. I think they've been shy. They had one game. I think when they played against us in the reverse fixture, I thought they played quite well. If I'm being completely honest, I thought the energy was in the game from the players and everything, and there was a work ethic and demand. And the one thing that I know with a lot of Sheffield United's players, for example, is that even when they're like 3-4-0 down, guys, they don't sulk, they don't moan. They still put in the hard yards. They put in the graft that's needed to be done. Chris Wilder, as Jarvis said anyway, as much as people want to talk about like what we just said with the overlapping centre-back system, he's not really used it ever since he's come back in. He likes a baseline back four and then transition to a back five when they try and defend and get as many bodies back as they can. It's different to when he was there originally, but he's come in mid-season. He's not really had a chance to work with anything at the moment. But the system that they'll probably play, they are going to come and play a low block. They're going to sit in deep, try and play with the long balls over the top of our defence. And it's going to be about the duels, the second balls, the physical demands of it. And if it's anything to go by with how we play against those teams that are a little bit more physical and demanding in the game, where it's about the hard yards, it's about the energy in the game, that's probably where Manchester United fall short, because they do get bullied in the air from time to time. They can get imposed on by teams when they press them high up the field, which Sheffield United, if they're going to sit in a low block, is what they're going to do if they try and get out of it and counter-attack. But I think the biggest credit to what they have at Sheffield United, in any sense anyway, regardless of where they are in the league, they have that belief that they'll go into a game and they'll go 100% and try and win the game. There's none of this like we'll play for a draw, we'll play for we'll play for a point or anything. They want to go. They go into every single game with the sole objective of we want to be competitive against the team that's in front of us, even if they lose 3-4-0. But from our perspective, guys, we should wipe the floor with them. We should. That's the key point. We should wipe the floor with them. We've got enough good players, quality players in the team, and this, myth about injuries. We said it on the last stream anyway. I would say he's missing two of his key players out of his best starting 11, Shaw and Martinez. That's the only two that I would have really argued that he's missed for large portions of this season. And if we look at it from the squad that he has available right now, but listen, we're losing players left, right, and centre. I'll be very honest with you. It's got that bad. I don't even know who's available and who isn't anymore. That's how bad it's got at Man United. So whatever I see on the team sheet, I'm just going to look at with an open eye and just say, well, I hope maybe a couple of young players get a bit of an opportunity. We're not playing for anything in the league. Top four's done out here. I'm in the same boat as what Nuruddin said for many, many years. I don't value Europa League. I don't value Conference League. I don't value the competitions at all. Manchester United is about prestige. Should be in the Champions League. I don't want to play in the second rate Thursday night in Kazakhstan. It's not my cup of tea. If it's other people's cup of tea, by all means, book your flights, book your hotels, go and do whatever you want. If that's what you want to go and do and travel with Man United. But no, I think Sheffield United, physically imposing team. I think it'll be a good game. I do think it'll be a good game, but especially if they're sitting in the low block system, if we don't break them down early, I think we will struggle in the game. I do think we are going to struggle for that. If it gets to 60, 70 minutes and we haven't opened them up, it's going to be a slug for Man United. And then that's where you're going to start and look at it and question it with Tenhag. Like we said yesterday, Jarvis, in terms of in-game management, will he do something differently to try and impact the game? And that's a major flaw in his characteristics and really in his management style, he doesn't have an impact on game. He doesn't know how to change things up mid-game when it impacts us mostly to get a better performance or get a better result. He doesn't know how to change it up. But no, I expect a good, entertaining game. But
Tom, I'll stay
we
with
should
you.
we should wipe the floor.
Listen, get your scores. Get your scores in, people. Tom, I'll stay with you quickly. What's the score? Score prediction.
To be honest with you, it should be 3-0. We shouldn't concede against them, and we should easily wipe the floor with them. But I don't.
3-0. So 3-0 till about 71 minutes to go. Gone.
No, that's what the score should be. If I'm being honest with you, this is the demise of how we are. I'd take a 1-0. I honestly would. I'll take any result that entails a win. I don't care how we win at the moment, because we're going to play shit as it is anyway, guys. So I've already resonated and accepted to that. So I'll take a win, whatever scoreline, 4-3, 1-0, 2-1, whatever. I don't care.
All right, I'll go to Lesso quickly. What the score's going to be tomorrow? 3-0 and then 70 minutes to go, then we shit the bed. Yeah? You happy with that? Lesso?
No, it's going to be 3-2. I'll keep it at 3-2.
Wow, 3-2. Jarvis, quickly, what the score's going to be tomorrow?
Yeah, let's say a 2-2.
Sean, quickly, what do you think the score's going to be tomorrow?
Yeah, we have to win, and we have to win comfortably. I'm going with 2-0 or 3-0.
Aye, what do you think the score's going to be tomorrow, quickly?
Gonna mash them up 3-0, mate. Get ready for a performance. Eric's back.
It's at 71 minutes.
Yeah, hang in there, Sean, man. You might be right.
All right. Listen,
I mean, I'm
Eric
coming for the ride, man.
Head Sean, Eric Tenhag out. Tuchel 100%. Big up. Nah, Tuchel ain't coming. Let's get into that quickly. Listen, when this rumor started happening in the last couple of days, I said straight away, I called bullshit on this. And I knew that it was coming from his side because he flirted with us when we played him in the Champions League. If you guys remember, he was talking about how a wonderful stadium, historical club, big club, Manchester United. Listen, all due respect, mate. You're the nothing but a German Alan Pardew. Chill out. We're safe, mate. We're all right. You just chill out, pal. You fluked a 1-0 win in a Champions League final, and you think you're big done. Your football is trash. This three at the back business is not for me. I never want to see Manchester United playing three at the back, unless we're pushing forward and we got three defenders on the halfway line. Other than that, I'm not here for that. So all the best to you, Thomas Tuchel. I think, is anybody on the panel that wants Thomas Tuchel? Quickly.
Nah, not for me. I don't.
There you go. That's a quick silence.
I don't rate his body of work, to be honest with you guys. He's worked at big football clubs, but he's entailed the problem that every one of them he's been at. Chelsea, he won the Champions League and he had problems straight after it. Bayern, he's had problems since he's walked through the door. PSG, he had problems with the hierarchy over recruitment. And in terms of like the players of our squad guys, if he did come in Tuchel, what morale and what impact is he going to have really on a lot of these players? I don't see a lot of what he's going to do differently. And what you said, Nuruddin, I think I'd agree on, and I think we'd probably all agree on. The way that he speaks and he articulated it, when he played over those two games in the group stage with Man United, it was almost as if, well, Man United is the biggest club in the Premier League. If it ever comes available, I'll happily take the job. And like the way that it's worded, and especially with the way that the reports have come out, listen, journalists have floated around with every manager. 4 days ago, everybody were getting Riley over Zidane. Now it's Thomas Tuchel. A couple of days ago, it was Nagelsmann. Then he signed a new deal, and that's gone shite. Southgate's always been that rumour there. Then you have Graham Potter, who's not in work at the moment. Then there's De Zerbi. Listen, Conte's probably going to get linked soon, and Bombay is going to be on there praising his.
Give me a C. Give me an O. Give me an N.
Wig.
But yeah, like I don't. To be honest with you guys, I don't think Tuchel would impact us that much. To be honest with you, and I don't see why Ineos would look at a manager like him. To be honest with you, I don't think he's won I mean, apart from the Champions League, what has he actually won, guys?
Okay, I don't like Tuchel either, but let me offer some defense of Tuchel for why they might be considering him. I actually thought he was a good tactician.
Sean, nobody's considering
Can
him.
No, I mean,
Nobody's
like,
considering
I
him.
understand that, like, Jim Ratcliffe might be a fan or something. And it wouldn't be unlikely to me that if we have a list of 5 or 10, Tuchel is somewhere on that list, and whoever is doing due diligence would give up some pros and cons for all the people on the list. And I'm saying in the pro column for Tuchel, just for conversation's sake, I actually thought he was a good tactician at Chelsea. I was impressed with his adaptability during the games, the way they were able to play against City, right, and how he was able to get the best out of that Chelsea squad. Whatever his failings are, I thought he was a good tactician. So I can see why he might be under consideration. But yeah, like you guys, I don't want to be there.
Listen, he's a 3-4-3 merchant. He's a counter-attacking merchant. He's basically Ollie in a cap. That's all that he is. Ollie with a cap. That's all I see with Thomas Tuchel. Like Nurian said, he flew up to 1-0 win in the Champions League. He's been to numerous. He went to the FA Cup, Carabao Cup finals with Liverpool. He bottled both of them on penalties. He couldn't score in any of the finals, any of his teams. He flew up the 1-0 in that game. They lost him in Portugal.
It was actually City lost that game. Listen, Tom, City lost that game because they went and played all season. They were playing with
Rodri.
I think he was the Brazilian guy. I forgot his name. What's the Brazilian? Fernandinho. They were playing with him, and Fernandinho was playing fantastic. Yeah. And then in the game of the final, he drops him. Fernandinho gets City to a final, and then he drops him. And it was just, to me, it was Pep Guardiola overthinking it. And then they got a goal and defended for their lives. So for me...
Liverpool have changed direction all of a sudden. Why are we not talking about Amorim? What do you think of him? Yeah,
I'll take him, I got friends who absolutely rate him.
I've got a colleague at work.
Amorim is going to West Ham.
He's diehard Benfica.
The meetings didn't go well with West Ham.
He's a special manager in Liverpool. To get him, he's major attacking, and he's got good man management apparently. Players seem to really like him a lot.
Young players won by as well. Young players, I think, is a key point.
Walk through walls for him. So I don't know. He excites me. I've read a little bit up on him. I've spoke to a few people from Portugal that they're into their league. They watch it. They're not even fans of the team he manages. They're actually direct rivals. But they say,
how many years has he been at? Has he been at the club that he's at? How many years has he been there?
I think he's been there 3. I think he's been there 3 years. I think he went in one of them was midway through a season, so he's had like 2.5 seasons ish there. But he's won the league. I think he's won the league a couple of times, and he's won a Portuguese cup. I think.
I'm just I'm in the business of giving the fans, the viewers, respite from my Conte. Now I'm not mentioning that no more.
Listen, sorry, sorry, Tom and Bombay. Big up, Lilas. Lilas says, Sean, you'll rate Benny Hill for United coach.
I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is. You guys should understand. I'm indifferent.
The original Mac Daddy.
No, I've already told you guys that we should not be surprised if we're still with Tenhag next season. So I'm not. Is other people that are very invested in this new manager stuff. If they sack him today, oh well and good. If not, we'll be here again next year supporting the club.
Okay.
So whoever it is.
Listen, not for me anyway. We're not having that. We're not having it. Lesso's not having Tuchel either. I'll speak for Lesso. Nobody's having Tuchel, man. It's all fake. Big up my brother Agostino. Agostino, listen, I need to invite me on the podcast, man. I want to get on the podcast, bro. Big up to you, love and light. He says, I think Tomachuda could work for United if we had a decent structure, but he struggled at Chelsea buy-in. I don't see something succeed. Listen, the guy is a bit moody. He is poor man's. I would say Jurgen Klopp. When he was at, everybody rated him highly. To be fair, when he was at Dortmund, but at the end of the day, he failed to win the league there. He won the league on a technicality last season. He won the league literally because Dortmund bottled it. Literally bottled it in the last game. All they had to do was win. They win the league and they didn't, and they got beat. So it is what it is, people. But big up to everybody. Love and like. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We're shadow banned. We're demonetized. You know how it is, people. This is what we are. This is what we are as a football club and as a football team. So the least you can do. Nobody asks you to be a member here. Everybody. I put everybody's chat on here because we try to build a community that is inclusive, that brings everybody's opinion. As long as you're not abusive, everybody's heard from. You know, this is who we are on here, people. So big up to you, love and light. Please just smash a like on the video. That's all I'm asking. Nothing. I'm not asking you for nothing. Just smash the like. It's for free. Just smash that like and let people know about the channel.
Smash a like if you want Tenhag to remain at United.
Oh my God. I doubt that. Ain't nobody doing that, pal. Stop it. Show. We don't get any likes on videos, man. We need to get more likes on videos. But big up. Next thing I want to go on to quickly, people, is that he's waffling about Ahmad. I'm sure you saw I posted a couple of quotes from Tenhag, the second part of his presser tonight. But let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. We talked about Tuchel. To me, that Ashworth, quickly, I want to spend 5 minutes on this. I think this Ashworth saga is like back to the Glazers about a player. Well, we're in contact with his agent. We're using the intermediary. Yeah, you know, I mean, we're discussing people. Listen, you want the guy. You knew how much you had to cost to get him. You have to do it. You have to get him. Simple. Have to get him. You paid a 10 million. Why are you hackling over 10 million when you spent $1.5 billion at the football club already for 25?
Oh, have you not heard, Nuruddin? Have you not heard, Nuruddin? That 10 million is going to go towards recruitment. Have you not heard?
Where are we going shopping? Argos. Where are we going?
Is the claim that they shouldn't consider the opportunity cost of spending 10 million for?
Just move on. Listen, go and get somebody else then. Go and get somebody else.
That's sure. Yeah.
I don't understand this. Get somebody else. Get somebody else. But I want to go to Jarvis. Jarvis, come on now. This Ineos 25 twerker sexuals, man. What's going on with this BS? This is dragged on more than a player. Tag, is this what wants to come? Glazers 2.0.
I don't know. They're doing bits in the market now. Suddenly, I think Ashford is coming 8 million, I believe, plus 6, and now we have Wilcox. It looks okay, but I'm not convinced until I see results. So we'll see. I'm not celebrating too soon. I just want to go back quick to the manager debate and Tuchel. For me, he's not the manager. I don't think he can do anything with this team. But there's actually many good managers out there. I see people mentioning Michel from Girona, but actually you have one other guy, Thiago Motta at Bologna. They did really well this season. They actually are qualifying for the Champions League because Italy are getting one extra spot into the Champions League, and he's very pragmatic. He's very bold in his way. He tries something new. He was actually training under Gasperini, the old Italian manager. I think he was in Atalanta in many years. And he has learned a lot. It's about possession-based football. They play a very strange formation. They call it a 2-7-2 formation. And they have a lot of people centrally dragged out, played in triangles, short passes, very, very glad in possession. And then suddenly they explosive attacks. So, and the way they defend is very unorthodox. They played in the zonal marking. They have their places, but they kind of lurk out of their zone and man mark press. So it's a hybrid. And as a tactician, this is the thing I would like to see, something new and something I know revolutionary when it comes to football, but not Tenhag in a way, not that revolutionary.
No. Not that you empty out the midfield and you have only 1-6 in the most physical, demanding league in the world. I digress. So let's go back quickly. For me, quickly, I'll just ask you about Ashworth saga. What's going on here? Why don't they just get their guy, pay the money what they need to pay, or just move on? go and get another football director. Like, it's not that deep. What is this?
I think, they're obsessed in getting, their first targets, their
Well,
first
just
choice
pay the money
targets.
then. Just pay the money.
So no, but the thing is, I think they want to set precedents that they don't want to pay what these clubs actually demand, and that can be detrimental. I think that's the precedents that they're trying to set going forward. You name it, even in the transfer window. I can see us still saying no to the certain price that football clubs may put on their players. So they're just trying to set the precedents that we're not going to overpay. We have to meet each other halfway. We have to pay something that's reasonable, and for us to be a sustainable club, because there's fair play rules that are involved. So we need to spend money wisely and things like that. So for me, I think they're just doing it not because they don't have the money, but more or less it's a principle matter. And it's frustrating. Trust me, I hate it as much as you, but we said that we're going to allow these people to do what they need to do. And let's just see how this pans out. If it works in our favor and ends up setting a good precedence going forward, then we'll be looking at this moment and saying, fair play to them. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yes. Listen, I just don't see it for me. I think it's ridiculous. I genuinely do think it's ridiculous. Tom, quickly, and then we'll move on to our last segment. But please let me know what you think. You've already told me. Actually, Bumbaye.
Well, which part do you find ridiculous, Nuruddin?
I find it ridiculous that you're letting it go on. They've been negotiating for 3 fucking months. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an executive. It takes a long time to recruit these people, especially from a rival.
That shit, man. Listen, you pay the money.
Sorry.
You want your guy, pay the fucking money, or go and look somewhere, go and get another.
Do you know something, guys? I don't even think that somebody. I don't necessarily think this even just comes down to money. I think Newcastle look at it where Dan Ashworth knows their internal structure. Then he knows the inner workings of that football club.
He knows the transfer plans.
He knows not just the transfer plans. He knows the finances, the structure, how they operate in the market. He knows all of the external factors of how that club runs. So from a legal standpoint, they're going to want to put him on, like you say, gardening leave for a year, so then they can change the way that they operate, because then it's not exposed out there to the world. But with Dan Ashworth anyway, when he's coming away now for a year, for this year's worth of gardening leave, Newcastle, I think it just looks down to, I think they're looking at it and just think, while Manchester United are sat there and they're saying that they're going to wait for Dan Ashworth for however long it's going to take, well, we'll just take our time. We'll look at the European markets and we'll go and get a sporting director. As soon as they get a sporting director in, guys, this Dan Ashworth thing, it'll roll over like water on fire. And
they want to make it as difficult for us as possible.
They're going to want to drag it out for as long as they can, so it impacts Manchester United, which is one of their rivals, to get into the Champions League.
Tom,
that's what they want.
Sorry. But Tom, I'm genuinely sorry. Pay the fucking money. You get the guy. If not, go and get another director of football. It's simple.
You know what, brother?
No, I agree with you. Like, I'd rather.
It's not that simple, Nuruddin. Nothing is ever that simple.
Simple. It is. You want somebody, pay the money. They give you a price. Pay the money. If not, go and get another director of football. Jarvis, what am I saying? Am I talking a different language here?
No, you're not talking a different language, bro. But listen to what Lesso's saying. Yeah, it's perfect for me, because we are always on this channel talking about money. Look at how we're getting ripped, popped, mashed.
It's fucking 10 million when the guy just spent $1.5 billion for 25% of Manchester United.
But what you've got on this,
he spent $1.5 billion.
I know he has, but it doesn't matter. He spent $1.5 billion. We have to set. Listen, we have to set, Nuruddin, new precedent.
I'm sorry,
unless bro, no, it is. Listen,
I'm sorry, I don't want to hear that rubbish.
Manchester
United have done that before. We want to be tough. We need to make
no. This is a new regime, though. This is a new regime, though.
Listen, we had a new regime last year. It was called Mercer and Arnold.
No, that was
And
the
they
same
paid 80
regime.
fucking million. They paid 80 fucking million.
So what do you
For
want,
fucking
Nanuruddin?
Anthony.
You
No,
want
no,
you
no.
want the
What
same
are you
thing, or you
talking
want
about?
something different?
No, listen, pivot. The guy does they're asking for money. Pivot. Go and get somebody else. Simple.
No,
It's not
bro.
like he's the greatest fucking
They
director
want,
of football in the history
bro.
of the
Look,
world.
they want their man, and they're taking their time, and they will get him.
It's
And if they can
bullshit.
get him for
It's
cheaper
a saga.
and set precedent,
Like, why is this
right.
even a story? Why are we even
good.
It's
discussing
a
this?
fucking saga. It's a saga that keeps drip feeding to keep the fucking bullshit PR
Don't listen to
of
it, man.
Ineos. That's what it is. No, I don't talk about it. It's the first time I've talked about it on here.
Yeah,
I'm
allow
just
it.
sick of this bullshit. And tonight, the quote is this. This is what they've said. Tuchel, I've actually met him at the United protest. He's a decent guy, the reporter. He's not the kind of guy to be sensational, to be fair. He's not a sensationalist. This is what he said tonight. Get ready for this. He basically said, Manchester United, who are operating on a tight budget this summer, feel the extra 10 million plus might take solely to shorten Dan Ashworth's gardening
Is
leave
that how he
would
said
be
it?
better invested in playing talent.
I agree with that. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. It's not ridiculous, Nuruddin.
Sean.
That's a logical, responsible thing for the owners of the club to say.
That's comedy
Like,
FC. I'm sorry, but that's
Nuruddin,
comedy.
why would you
You just
spend
paid-
10 million recruiting an executive? Are you listening to what you're talking about?
You've just paid $1.5 billion for 20.5%. And this is the guy that you want. This is the guy that you're saying this is the guy. Go and pay the 10 million and get the fuck out of there. So you get on with your business. In the time that you're wasting, that could cost you more than 10 million in the transfer window. Because if you can get the people that you want, other than waiting and those players be moved to somewhere else, get the guy, do it properly. Jarvis, am I saying anything wrong here?
But Sir Jim already told you guys to be patient, right? He already told you to move from this frame of mind of immediately.
It's not about being patient. I'm sorry.
It's about being patient. It's about being realistic and being patient.
Sean, 3 months just to pay 10 million. Jarvis, go ahead.
Yeah, I spoke to Mick about this, and we talk a little bit, and he say it's about 15 million in total, and 5 of those 15 millions is sign-ons to Ashworth. So you shouldn't believe everything you read in the news media. It's 10 million to Newcastle. So either way, it will cost us a lot of money. But I agree with your take, Nordin. We have to invest if we want to move forward. We can't keep going with the Fletcher and Murtaugh and Arnold and those guys. That's the past, and we need someone who can be in control. I don't know if this is the role that Omar Barada can fill in temporarily, or Wilcox. I don't know exactly how the structure is built up, but the thing is, where is the money coming from? Is this coming from Man United, or is it Ineos's pockets this money is coming from? So we don't know the full extent of this deal yet, and it's hard to say anything right now. But I agree, paying 25 millions or something like that being mentioned, that's ludicrous. But we should get a guy into the job right now.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So here we go. Simple. This is it. Either move or get the guy that you wanted. You've been tracking for 3 months. Last question. Tenhag Waffle calling the people disgrace who said the football's embarrassment. To me, he's talking about us. He's talking about the fans. He's not talking about the journalists. He's talking about the fans. Where do you stand on that? He's the fucking one that's embarrassing. And all I'm hearing from him recently is fucking whole lot of waffle. Like I heard it for the last month of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the last 2 months or 3 months of Jose Mourinho, and he's at it again. Stay with you, Jarvis. Where do you stand on that?
Say again. Sorry, I was typing a message to Mick.
So basically, Erik Ten Hag has come out and said, he's talking about the fans, because the fans, we were all embarrassed on Sunday. We were all embarrassed, all of us. And he said, when the journalist asked him, said, you're through to the football FA Cup final, people think it was embarrassing. It is. As fans, we were fucking embarrassed. And he's like, that's a disgrace. No, Ten Hag, you're the fucking disgrace. You fucking prick. You're the disgrace. That's who you are. We don't listen to journalists. We can see what we need to see on our own eyes. I don't need no journalists to get me fucking disliking the way we playing. It's clear for everybody to see. So you're the fucking disgrace. right? We were
Yeah.
embarrassed, and I'm still embarrassed, even after 2 days later.
Yeah, it was an embarrassing performance, bottling it from 3-0 up. We should never let them into the game again. We should know, we should be professionals. We should just end the game right there and then, not letting them have a sniff at getting at us. But we know this team, they don't have any spine. I think Ten Hag knows that. I think he knew that if he lost this game, it will probably mean his job. He's still in the race. He can still... For him, it must be a big relief just winning, getting the result. So in a way, I can understand the manager, but we shouldn't say this publicly. He should, in a way, understand what club he's managing, understand the fans, and understand that this is not good enough, even if we win and go to the final. But I hope Ten Hag will learn this. I hope maybe some of it is just lost in translation. It's a quote. I haven't quite seen it myself. The interview after the game, I was doing the post-match show. So, I'm not quite sure what to say.
No, it's today. Today, in today's, the press conference for today against Sheffield United, Simon Stone asked him, right? Why was it an embarrassment you're through to a final? Looks like you lost. And it's like, no, that's a disgrace. He's talking about the fan base. We as the fan base were fucking embarrassed. So he's calling us disgrace. And then he goes and says,
he's not calling us a disgrace.
Yes, he is.
That's not what he's saying.
Yes, he fucking is. Who was embarrassed?
That's your very uncharitable interpretation.
Who was embarrassed?
Right?
Who was embarrassed? Sean, I'll ask you the question. Answer the question. Who was embarrassed?
Do you know who was embarrassed? Ten Hag, Ten Hag was embarrassed, which is why Ten Hag, he was embarrassed, which is why, according to the reporting, he tore into the United players. According to the reporting, he tore into the United players after the game because he was angry with them, right? So what do you expect him to come out and say? That's nonsense.
Manchester United concede goals right, left, and centre and lost games. We won 1 in 7, right? So
we saw a picture where 5 players were pointing at each other and nobody took leadership against Chelsea, right? We're leading against 3-0 and they come back to 3-3.
Listen, manager says to Toad, he can lay into whoever the fuck he wants. I'm not interested in that. But it's not fucking calling me and the
No, you want him to come and commit seppuku.
No. He does not calling me and millions of fans around the world calling us a disgrace. You're the fucking disgrace. The team that you put out is disgrace. Your game management is a disgrace. Your substitutions are a fucking disgrace.
Yeah, there is a lot of bad faith on display here, right?
Season.
And there's an addiction. There's an addiction to outrage. Clearly, because people know people. Yeah, it's because he didn't call. He was responding.
I will not be.
He was responding.
Sorry, Sean. No, Sean, I'm not accepting this. Sean, I'm not accepting.
You don't have to accept it, Nuruddin. You don't have to accept it. That's your prerogative.
I am not doing I will not be talking about this. If he would have just said, well, some people think that it was an embarrassment, but actually we're just through to a final and we're happy about that. That's it.
So what did he say then? What did he say then? He's calling out, rightly so, unfair media coverage. He's calling out an unfair media coverage that gives everybody else context when they have injuries, but doesn't forgive us, United. He's right to attack. No, but he's right to attack, to push back on the nonsense narratives. Everybody would have liked to be in a final, regardless of how you got there. This idea that it matters how you get to a final is bullshit. As football fans, we all know the truth. No matter how you get to a final, if you have a chance of winning a trophy, you take it and you're happy about it. Why is the narrative different from United every time? When other people have injuries and they're languishing in 18th or 17th position, oh well, they had injuries. But when it's United, there's no excuse, right? Sean, when it's other teams and their players are playing shit, it's the players. When it's United, it's Ten Hag that can't get the best out of them.
Sean, you can back up Ten Hag all you want. You can be bodyguard, right?
I'm not backing him up. I'm just asking for better arguments. Like it's ridiculous. It's outrage. It's outrage.
It's not outrage.
Like just outrage farming essentially. We're addicted to outrage farming. We're addicted to outrage and we're addicted to controversy essentially. And you're taking an innocuous statement by a manager, pushing back and defending his team. No, you're the one who is not listening because you're claiming that he was talking about the fans when he was clearly doing the right thing. He was defending his team. He was protecting his team and attacking the media. Like, what more do you want from the manager? He's as angry as you are. He's as angry as you are. Do you know? He is. He is. Like where do you get off thinking you care more about the team than the manager who has to deal with all of this all the time?
He's waffling.
Like, the arrogance.
Now he's calling Sean. Now he's calling the fans disgrace. That's what he's doing. He's calling the fans.
Can I?
Because we were all fucking embarrassed.
Yeah, boys, you're going around in a circle here. I just listened to it right now. I'm listening to it right as we speak. I can play it for you if you want. Simon Stone asked him the question. He says directly to Simon Stone, "It is your question that's a disgrace, and you guys made the question are a disgrace." He's talking directly to Simon Stone and the media. He wasn't talking about the fans. Listen to it again. He does not mention it in a general sense. It is directly pointed back at Simon Stone. I just listened to it now. I can play it for you. He does not say anything in a general sense. It is exactly at the media in that room that created this narrative, ran with it. He says, "No, you that posed the question are a disgrace."
The media didn't run with this. Listen, everybody was fucking embarrassed.
It's not the fans, bro.
I
know they are.
Yeah, United fans are the only ones who have the right to be embarrassed. United fans are the only ones who have a right to be embarrassed. Nobody else.
I promise you, Dino. I think you've misread this one, bro.
No, I haven't. Listen,
go and watch it again. I just watched it now. Bro, look, I just watched it now. I'll play it for you if you want live.
Nuruddin is drawing an inference, right? Nuruddin is drawing an inference and suggesting that because the fans also felt it was embarrassing, that Tenhag was therefore addressing the fans.
Sunday, it's almost as though you lost the game rather than actually got to the FA Cup final. Can you understand that, given how the game went?
No, absolutely not. And you made it up. One made the question, is it embarrassing? The reactions from you was embarrassed.
Why do you say that?
Well, it is. The comments in football, top football is about results. And we made it to the final. And we deserved it, not only by this game, but also the other games. And we lost. And then in 20 minutes control, also had bad luck, 3-2, 3-3. We are very lucky in the end, clear. The penalties was very good. And
I mean, what more do you want from this year?
Huge achievement. Twice.
So you see, he says you to Simon Stone that made the question are an embarrassment and a disgrace, not the fans.
Bomaye, he also admitted that we were lucky. He admitted that we were lucky at the end. Come on. Like, I hate being put in this position where you have to defend Tenhag because people are just making, quite frankly, like unfair and ridiculous assertions like at the manager.
Because for me, the biggest thing is that to me, let me just say my point. Let me play my point. I've heard the bullshit. I'll say this again. These journalists don't know him personally. They're just reporting what they see. At the end of the day, there are some dickheads who have agenda, but majority of journalists, football journalists, will report. They've got agents. They've got numbers of players. They'll get numbers and agents and best friends to leak to them. We know who those fucking journalists are. We know who have got sources on the dressing room. But at the end of the day, majority of Manchester United global fan base, every one of us felt embarrassed. We were all embarrassed. So the idea, the word embarrassed, he is, to me, this is how I take it. He's throwing those fans who are like, oh, the fan. I'm sure there was a quote him saying about fans celebrating and stuff like that. No fans were celebrating. Everybody went out of the fucking Wembley sheepish style. I got friends who were there who were like, for fuck's sake, when we saw the Coventry fans, we said to them, fucking hell, we're sorry about that. That was fucking horrendous. That you had your goal disallowed like that. Especially that type. So, for me, de facto, he's speaking to the fan base. He's calling people who didn't celebrate Manchester United going to a final disgrace. And that, to me, he's the fucking disgrace. His tactics are a fucking disgrace. His substitutions are a disgrace. His excuses have been a disgrace all fucking season. So that's how I'm taking it. Because when the manager gets on there, he's not talking to the newspaper.
Yeah, because you're choosing to be outraged.
He's sending a message to the fan base. The fan base, all of us, not because journalists, who don't cover Manchester United don't all listen in to say what Tenhag's saying. Manchester United fans do. And for me, de facto, when you use the word embarrassment, who's felt the most embarrassed? The media didn't feel embarrassed. The media don't give a fuck. They're not United fans. Majority of Manchester United fans globally felt embarrassed. And it's calling that word embarrassment a disgrace. That's what I took from it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. Yeah.
But the point stands. He's waffling like the rest of them have waffled. He's waffling like the rest of them have waffled. Because one thing about a football manager and a football coach, you can be whoever the fuck you want. Comes kickoff time, everything that says about your team, who you are as a character, your coaching staff, all the support staff that you have, the players are on that pitch. And you know what? The place where no lies are ever told is the fucking football pitch. No lies are ever told on a fucking football pitch. There is where everything gets exposed. And Tenhag has been exposed again and again and again and again. And now he's trying to make it out like Manchester United against the press. Fuck you, man.
Which is why he said that we were lucky at the end of that game. He said it himself that we were lucky to win the game at the end of the game. So what more do you want from Tenhag? Here is a way to look at what he's saying, a reasonable way.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. If a manager was an honest manager, he would come out and say, if I was a Manchester United fan, I would feel embarrassed about Sunday as well. We played eight.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tenhag doesn't answer questions exactly the way you want him to.
Managers have come out, and you know what, Sean? Managers have come out and said before, I'm embarrassed for the fans. We want to apologize to the fans. Managers have said that before when they've won games. Yes, they have. They've said that.
But he said we were lucky. He admitted that we were lucky to win the game.
He waffled. He said it was a great achievement. I watched his press conference after the game. He said we're through to our final. It's a great achievement. And
it is an achievement to get to the FA Cup final. It is.
United are fucking through to finals. That's what he said. He said
it is an achievement. It is an achievement to get to the FA Cup final. And as much as United fans don't want to understand it, as much as our fans don't want to understand it, the legacy of the last 10 to 12 years is more important than the legacy of the last 20 to 25 years, right? Because that is recent history. That is the football heritage that is more important. The last 10 years or the last 12 years, what have we done? What have we achieved? That's the benchmark by which you should be using to judge the success or failure of the club, not what happened in 2010 or 2009. What have we done recently in recent times? And Tenhag is right to say to United fans that, hey, we are in a final. We have on paper a 50-50 chance of lifting a trophy. I don't know about you guys, but I will be happy if we win, right? And he's trying to rally the team together. What's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with the manager saying, well, we were lucky, right? But you media guys that are trying to spin this as a negative, fuck you, the media. United fans rally behind the team. We're lucky, but we're in the final, and let's go all the way. Like, what's wrong with that?
The point I want to make to you, Sean. The point I want to make to you, Manchester United fans have fucking, you know what these are called? These. Manchester United fans have got these. They don't need no fucking media to spin anything. Manchester United fans have got eyes. Majority of us have got eyes. And if you haven't got eyes, we can't see somebody telling us we're shit. We're embarrassed.
Yeah, but I don't know where you come off, Nuruddin, thinking that you're more angry about the result than Tenhag. Why do you think you're more angry about the result than Tenhag? Like, that's what I need to understand.
Manchester United fans do not need any dickhead journalists to spin anything. We don't. Majority of the
you don't.
Majority of these journalists are in the pockets of the fucking club. It's pit for tat. That's what it is.
No, but why do you think you're more upset than Tenhag? I don't understand where you're getting that from.
I'm a fan. Tenhag's getting paid money to manage Manchester United.
His livelihood is on the line. His reputation is on the line. Every day he gets told he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a waffler. Why do you think you're more upset than him?
Listen to me. Sean, that's the most deluded question you've ever asked in this panel. That is the most deluded. Players and managers and coaches will come and go. You know, fans, forever. I'm going to take it to the grave as a United fan. I'm taking that to the grave. he will get a job next season, season after somewhere else. Forget about
Yeah,
Manchester United.
Ten Hag
What are you
he
talking
looked
about?
pretty upset.
What
He
are you
looked pretty
talking
upset to
about?
me. He
Sean,
looked pretty
I wanna
upset to
listen.
me during the
Sean,
game.
I'm gonna repeat.
Um,
Sean, I'm gonna repeat for the people listening. Sean said, "Well, how come as a United fan, I'm more upset than Eric Ten Hag?"
I didn't say how come. I said, why do you think you're more upset about the outcome of that game than Ten Hag? Why do you think you're more upset about it than Ten Hag?
What are you talking about?
It's a fair question, right? I know you think you have a monopoly on outrage, right? I mean, United fans think you have a monopoly on being upset. But it looked to me quite clearly that Ten Hag was upset about the game, the way it went. It was obvious to me. And that's what you would say. That's what you would say. But don't sit here and pretend like you're more upset about it than the manager who has to deal with this shit day in, day out. It doesn't make any sense.
No, Sean, as a fan, I'm getting paid zilch. Manchester United don't even know I fucking exist. Eric Ten Hag is getting paid a lot of money to do a fucking job. And this
sounds more like waffling than anything Ten Hag said, because you're shifting the goalposts.
No, you're not listening. John, you're just waffling.
You're shifting the goalposts. Answer you're the one who's waffling, right? You're the one who's waffling, because what else? How much is paid have to do with anything?
Your argument is ridiculous. You just asked the most embarrassing question I've ever heard.
What does how much is paid have to do with anything?
You just said, why should I care? Why should I care more than everything?
That's not what I said, Nuruddin. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. And that's what I said. I said, why do you think you are more upset than Ten Hag? It seems to me reasonable to expect that the United manager, who has to deal with all this shit on a day in, day out basis, will be as upset, if not more upset, than you guys. So say you don't give a fuck. So say you don't give a fuck. Don't tell me that it's not happening.
He's getting paid $5 million a year.
So say that. Say that then. Say that then. Don't tell me that it's not happening.
Sean, if you can't stand the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen.
Then say that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that he doesn't care.
Walk the fuck away.
Then say that.
Sean, everybody heard you clearly. You said, why should I be more upset?
No, Nuruddin, do you not understand English? I said, why do you think you are more upset than Ten Hag? And the goalpost moved to he's getting paid a lot of money. He's going to be somewhere else next year. I said, why do you think you're more upset than Ten Hag?
Okay, Sean, do you think? Let me ask the guys. Mumbai, do you think you care about Manchester United more than Eric Ten Hag?
That's not the question. That's a very dishonest framing of what I said. What I said, Bumaye, quite simple, quite simply.
Listen,
the same way you were, quite simply, Bumaye, Jarvis, Lesso. The question is simple. The question is simple, right? That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Wembley.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. Nuruddin. Nuruddin, the evidence is there that you hear what you want to hear and ignore everything else. It's called selective listening, right? I said simply, very simply, why do you think you are more upset than Ten Hag? Not why should you care more than Ten Hag? Not do you care more than Ten Hag? A very simple question. Why do you think as a fan you are more upset than Ten Hag? It seems to me that Ten Hag is as upset, if not more upset, than we are, which is why I don't blame him. I said it seems to me, which is why I don't blame him for attacking the squad in the dressing room and coming out to defend them in public. It's a reasonable, normal thing for a manager to do.
No. Sorry, Sean.
Sure.
Good try, Sean. Good try. Very good try. Try to get away with it.
Yeah, clearly English is a very difficult language to understand. I understand.
Away with that. You asked the question, why should a fan like me?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. But I understand the difficulties with English language.
He's not a United fan. He's not a United fan. He doesn't spend money to go and watch the team. He doesn't fucking care about the fucking football club. He doesn't fucking set up a YouTube channel.
Let's build a cross and let's play the smallest violin for all your troubles as a United fan.
Why should I be more upset? Why are you waffling? You're waffling.
That's not what I said.
You're waffling just like Ten Hag.
That's not what I said. It's addiction to outrage. Outrage sells, and fans are addicted to outrage. We're addicted to spinning things in negative ways. That's what's happening here.
Sean, it's simple. if you don't have any emotion, if you're not emotional about your football is a game of emotion as fans. It's as simple as that. And if you're not emotional about your team, then you know what? You're in the fucking wrong sport. Simple as. Simple as. And tonight, you've exposed yourself by telling me that, listen, every football fan in the world understands this. Football managers, players, they're there. That's their job. Like, we go to our jobs. The majority of us who've got a job go to jobs. That's our job. The idea that we care more as fans, we volunteer our time. We give our money. We give our time. Not even money is our time. You get up at 7:30 in the morning in fucking California. 30, mute yourself, by the way. Mute yourself because there's a lot of racket in the background, right? You get up 7:30 in the morning. Do you think if Eric Tenhag, he leaves Manchester United tomorrow, he lives in California, do you think he's getting up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to watch Manchester
That has
United?
nothing to do with anything I said. That has nothing to do with anything I said. It has nothing to do with anything I said.
How can I be more upset? How can I be more upset than Tenhag? What? That's a waffle. It's simple. It's simple because I care more than
Right?
every
Which is cool.
fraud,
That's a prerogative.
can ever fucking care about Manchester United.
That's not what I said. You were making a point about Tenhag, not about Tenhag waffling, and I said quite simply that it seemed to me like Tenhag was upset as United fans over the way the game went. As upset, if not more upset, as United fans over the way the game went. And it seemed to me reasonable, according to the reporting, that he would attack the fans, the players in the dressing room, and come out and defend them in public. That's a very normal thing for managers to do.
Sean, Manchester United crashed out and finished bottom of the Champions League group. We got dunked on by Copenhagen, Galatasaray, home and away. What are you talking about?
That's a complete non sequitur.
What are you talking about?
One second. Come on.
These are non sequiturs. What does that have to do with anything that we're saying here?
How can he be upset when it's regularly happening? What? Listen, you can be upset if something bad happens, Jarvis. If something happens or your kids are naughty, they do something naughty, right, in school. That is not out of expectation. You'll be very upset. Are you upset if they're doing it week in, week out? Week in, week out. Well, you won't be upset anymore because that emotion wears off. It wears off because they keep. So Eric Tenhag made sure Manchester United were fully exposed and embarrassed in the Champions League. With a group with Copenhagen and fucking Galatasaray, who both of them don't have any pedigree in the Champions League. So when you're telling me that he's upset, it's ludicrous. It's a job to these people. It's a job. And if he cared and was so emotionally hurt, then you fucking walk away.
The only manager I think was Solskjaer. He was actually hurt when he lost his job. I think he cared as a fans. He cared as us, but I don't think the manager care in the same way as we do as fans.
Yeah,
that's
fans,
for sure.
bro, been supporting United for 30 years now, and I know it hurts bad, emotional, scarred. So a manager will walk away, and eventually he will forget. He's pissed off, no doubts, and he'll give it him. But obviously he will move on. But you have to stay here and deal with it. Do you know what I mean? So a fan invested in it, supporting this club, like going through the shit and all that, and watching what's happening, knowing where we've been. It's dirty. It's hard to take. But like I say, you know what I mean? He'll go, but we've got to stay. There's nowhere to go. So I see both points, man. But I see you're hurting, Dino, and no doubt it's. I mean, it will be prolonged.
I'm not hurting. The point I want to make is this: when he says the word embarrassment is a disgrace, that's the emotion we as all football fans has felt, and he's saying that's a disgrace because the media described it. What the fans, majority of the fans, where fans walked off, 20,000 of them empty out that section, that red section. In that whole crowd, when they thought that guy scored the goal, the winner, they walked out. Then they came back.
It was devastating.
Allowed, right? So to me, all of us were embarrassed. It was embarrassing. Like I said, it was the worst win in my lifetime as a Manchester United fan. The worst win, and I promise you, we done some dirty, stinking arm robbery type wins. I'll never forget Newcastle ripped us to bits when we were going for the league title, when we caught them by 12 points. We went to flipping Goodison, St. James's Park. We defended. They hit the post, the bar. Schmeichel was making saves right, left, and centre. Cantona went up the other end. Bam, the ball comes from the left-hand side. I think Phil Neville crosses it in. Cantona gets it down. Bam, 1-0. We get away with it. It was the biggest robbery, daylight robbery. I was going absolutely berserk. I was jumping for joy. This here, against a championship team, a mid-table championship team, for Manchester United to be winning 3-0, 71 minutes gone, and they should have won. That is a fucking disgrace and an embarrassment. So when he's saying, oh, you the press, he's meaning us. I'm taking it as he's talking about the fan base.
No, but Tenhag agrees with you, Nuruddin. That's the problem. Tenhag agrees with you.
We're the ones who felt the most embarrassed.
But Tenhag agrees with you.
On Monday morning, we're the ones. When I walked on Monday morning, when I was going out here on my way out and about, people were like, "Fucking hell, what the hell was that about?" And I was like, literally, it was quite embarrassing. Like I'm still embarrassed.
Tenhag agrees with you, Nuruddin. Newsflash: Tenhag agrees with you. He agrees with you. He just wouldn't say it out in a press conference because that's not the right thing for him to say in a press conference. Like I don't understand what you want from the manager. Somebody, he already admitted that he was lucky.
I'm sorry, Sean.
In the clip that Bomaye played, the manager admitted that we were lucky to win that game. He admitted that we were lucky to win the game. Do you agree that we're lucky to win the game? What more do you want from him? If he says we're lucky to win the game, or it's an achievement to get to a final, that is an innocuous, very simple, very benign statement to make.
Do you remember the original press conference when he was at Wembley? He said, "No, we're happy. We're through to the final." Listen, at the end of the day, you can say all that, but say that was a disgraceful performance from this team. Disgraceful. Some managers say that it was a disgraceful.
The original press conference came after he lambasted the players in the dressing room.
No, he didn't. I'm
okay with the manager saying one thing to the dressing room and saying another thing in public, managing the PR.
Sean, him lambasting players don't give fucking fuck all. It doesn't mean fuck all to me because I've had it all season. It's happened all season. Like I said to you, I want to remind people because some of you think Champions League was like 5 seasons ago. Champions League, we finished bottom with a fucking Galatasaray and Copenhagen grouping them, and it was embarrassing. So for me, that was a disgrace. To see what we witnessed was a disgrace. So for me, you just tell the truth. Because you see that the players, Jarvis, majority of them walked off the pitch, other than Anthony disgracing himself. Everybody walked off the pitch.
Yeah, they knew. But to be fair, I just want to, when it comes to Den Haag, we got to remember that Simon Stone, he likes to bait. He's one of the worst when it comes to Man United. He tries to create headlines, sell papers, and clicks. This is Simon Stone, and Ten Hag knows Simon Stone. They speak on press conferences every game, so he knows what's coming. So not being 100% honest, I can understand it from Ten Hag's point of view because the media storm, everything will come out, and it will create so much noise, and it will make the team lose.
Thank you, Jarvis. Thank you. Like that's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm trying to say. But I agree with you. As a fan, we hurt more than a manager because this is our life. We will go to the grave with the badge on our chest.
But Jarvis, genuinely, listen to me. If it happened once, I can understand the media trying to cause. Do you think any United fan was ever listening to the media about what we saw, what we've been seeing all season? Be honest.
We know. We have our own eyes, so we don't know. We don't need Ten Hag to tell us. That's the thing. We don't need Simon Stone.
We don't need the media to tell us. We don't need the media. I don't need the media to try to big up country. I don't need the media to do that.
It was nice to see Simon Stone get a backhander though. Do you know what I mean? He shut him right up. It was nice. Truthfully, it was, bro. Because Simon Stone is a knobhead. Yeah. Every single week, Dino. Every single week for the last 2 seasons, he is just trying to put Ten Hag in an imposition. And he's dealing with it, and he's biting his lip, and he's had enough, bro. And it was nice because I hate that guy, and half of them reporters in there. And it was nice to say, you You are causing these problems. He knows, bro. He said we were lucky. He knows that was shit. I promise you.
He knows. He
Do you know what I
knows.
mean? But Simon
No,
Stone,
I'm
bro,
sorry.
deserved it. And it was
Bombay,
good.
Bombay, that's why I said he waffled, because they all waffle. They all come out in press conferences lying to us, every one of them, and going, we did this, we did that. And you're like, no, you didn't. We're shit. Just say it. This is unacceptable. Remember last season, Jarvis? Remember last season? What was he saying last season?
Oh,
Unacceptable. Just saying last season. Every time Manchester United got, what was he saying? Unacceptable. Even when we won, it was like, performance was unacceptable. Even games we won at home at Old Trafford, he was coming out saying this, and now he's just pandering, and he's just trying to delude, and this is part of this marketing fucking FC. For me, at the end of the day, in any walk of life, one of the things what we loved Ralph Ranieri was, there was a certain decent level of honesty. For me, honesty is the key. Don't try to kid me. Don't insult my intelligence. And all Jose, Oli, and Tenhag now, for me, they're all waffling. The reason why they're waffling, because they all try to insult our own intelligence. It's not the first time. I've only made a segment of the show today. I mentioned that maybe a couple of weeks ago. But to me, when you call in people who are embarrassed by that performance a disgrace, to me, you're calling me a fucking disgrace. Because that was embarrassing. And Champions League was not embarrassing as it is. Fucking, but Brentford wasn't embarrassing as it is. Chelsea was not embarrassing as it is. Bournemouth wasn't embarrassing as it is.
What else have we got on the agenda tonight?
No, that's it. That's it.
Yeah?
That's it. That's it.
I don't know. A simple Google search pulled up many times that Tenhag has called the performance unacceptable. Like, so this idea that he needs to come out and say we were shit. I mean, I just think that's silly. Like, right? It's an unfair expectation, and I'm pretty sure like the goalposts will keep shifting because the manager.
You know what, Sean? You know what certain managers do? They blame themselves as well. They go, many a time, me, Bumbaye, Jarvis, Lesso, I've watched managers go, it's on me. I got it wrong today. Never once has he ever come out and says, I've got it wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't think of an example off the top of your head of a manager saying it was me, I got it wrong today.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen nearly as much as you're suggesting it does. Let's be real here.
When it's bad, certain managers accept it and have honesty and say, we apologize to the fans. We apologize to the fans for what happened.
Hasn't Tenhag done that many times at United right now? He has done it many. He yourself just admitted that last season he said it many times that was unacceptable. So what do you want? The manager
this season he said fuck all. Every minute he comes out, every other week he comes out, it's like Jackie Nori stories.
The manager tried to call out the team one time. One player quickly tweeted and said, "It's a lie. The manager is a liar." The manager tries to manage their emotions. He can't win. He can't win. Tenhag cannot win. He's in an impossible position basically, unless he comes out and commits seppuku. Like unless he literally comes out and embarrasses himself in public for your gratification, you wouldn't be happy. Right? Because what you want is to see the manager come out and self-flagellate. Essentially, come out and say, I'm a failure, I failed, the team was nonsense. And that's not a reasonable expectation.
No.
How do you expect him to do that?
Listen to me. In the past 5 months, in the Champions League, he never said this is unacceptable. He never said any of it. He only says, we have to win. We have to win. Even when we play badly, we have to win. That's the only thing he comes out and says.
Do you know,
the only thing that he's been consistent is that big up truth seekers. And you're blinded, dude. You already checked out. I'm blinded. But you're happy to watch that shit and you call yourself a United fan.
April 4, 2024, wow. after the Chelsea game, Tenhag says unacceptable performance. Eric Tenhag fumes that unacceptable Manchester United collapse at Chelsea. March 5th, 2023, Manchester United meltdown was unprofessional, says angry Tenhag. Another news report, Tenhag annoyed with Manchester United unacceptable performance. He says this many different times. He has said this many times that the performance was unacceptable.
How many games has we come out and said we actually played well today? We had more chances. We could have won this game. It's absolute waffles that he comes out with. We've heard it. We've heard it.
He's doing what he thinks he needs to do as the manager, which is put on a brave face in
you're not
public.
doing shit. This
What's
is not PR, mate.
the
You're talking
anthem
when you
for
talk
today?
in the press. You're not talking
Wembley.
Because usually
We're
we've
famous
got
Man
either
United
it's
and we're going to
listen.
Wembley.
Usually for that Coventry one, we didn't do this part. We usually have Back to Life. Yeah, we usually have Bon Jovi. I mean, this is a bit special. This one. Anybody got any ideas?
No, listen.
Comments?
That's it. We're gonna wrap
You
up.
sure?
Let's go. Last
Never
five,
gonna
last
give you up.
word from the show.
Never gonna give
Never
you.
gonna give you up.
Listen,
Never gonna-
last word of the show. Last word of the show from you. Carry on. Go ahead.
Wait, who?
Less so.
No,
Yeah.
I think no, man, I think said, and obviously with the game in mind tomorrow, and our season as a whole, and the manager, the players, everything needs to go. Everyone needs to go. And yeah, man, let's just see what this new regime does. But like I say, I only judge on what I see. So I can't really sit here and say this is gonna work out until I actually see it, being in progress and being implemented. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it till that. With regards to the manager, he has waffled a lot. We can't sit here and lie and say he hasn't been, said some weird things in the press conference. I'm all about protecting the players and and that current moment in time, you're trying to actually protect the backlash away and take the backlash away from the players and the pressure and everything. But I've never heard him a lot of times put it on himself, the blame. And personally, I think a lot of times he should have put himself, because he has blundered a lot in terms of his man management, way how he managed his players throughout the season. That's why they have the injuries that they have. We overplayed a lot of our players. We never rotated. The only time we only saw a different team was when we got injuries. And you look at these substitutions were not tactical. He just made substitutions for the sake of making substitutions. So it's another thing that you have to also look at that. You also have to look at the poor morale from your bench players. If your bench players feel like they can do everything that they can to get into the first team, and they have absolutely no chance of making it into the first team, that again goes down to the squad morale. It affects everything. So for me, the way he has managed players, away past from last season, this season has just been a blunder. There was no standards this season. Players felt that there was no standards this season. Look at how his tone has changed from last season. So you put those factors all in together, and you can say and clearly see that this man has given up, and there's absolutely nothing that's left in him to actually stay in this job even one more year. I mean, reports are not lying when they say he's prepared to walk, because I mean, the Ineos have never come out and said that he's here next season. That's a red flag already. You already know that they don't have any trust in you. And now they're saying they're going to send a technical director to come and see what you're doing in training. Means you're doing absolutely something wrong in training. For them to even go down to those measures and even put out that report out there, it shows that there's no faith whatsoever in what they've been seeing from us this season. So in all conclusion, I think he'll be gone. I think certain players would also be gone. That's just factual. And yeah, I think we're gonna start from scratch with the new manager. I mean, our technical director apparently was, he was wanted by Barada. Barada is the one that actually wanted him. Wilcox was the one that was wanted by Barada specifically. So it's good that they want specific people and they're going for that specific people. So let's just wait and see what happens. But this season is done. We're losing against City. We're done. And no matter how we can spin it, we're done in that final. Like we know that. It's just us trying to hype up something that's.
Are you going to watch the final, Lesso?
Man, for what else can I do? It's the last game of the season. So I'm pretty much ill. So I'm probably gonna tune in and watch it. But I know deep down I'm not gonna put my expectations up there. I think we're pretty much done. Pretty much that game is just City. Everyone knows that it's City's game to
No,
lose.
listen,
City
we
have
don't
to
even
do
have
a
to talk
mad run.
about that. We don't even have to talk about that. That game will take care of itself. If we play the last 20 minutes like the way we played against fucking Coventry, it'll be 5-0 before halftime. Mark my fucking words. Go ahead, Sean. Last word on the show.
Yeah, I think for me, what I identify as the addiction to outrage is the statement or the idea that the only way to move forward is to sack everybody. That's setting yourself up for perpetual outrage because it's never going to happen, and the goalpost is going to keep shifting because you're never going to get what you want, and you're never going to be satisfied as a United fan. I prefer to deal in more realistic scenarios where we have limited options in a difficult environment. And despite the fact that I'm okay with Tenhag being sacked right now, I also totally understand what he's doing currently as a manager, both in terms of the tactical approach and his statements in the media. What I agree with you, Tenhag outers on, is his failure to keep the team honest, his failure to rotate the squad in a more efficient way. I agree with those critiques of him, but I feel like those are things that he probably feels like he has his reasons for, and things that he can learn and improve on along the way. I'm going to be watching that final, not expecting us to have immediately lost because I know that football is an unpredictable sport. Anything can happen, basically. So I will celebrate if we score a goal in the final. If we win, I will be happy. And I expect all the United fans to be as well.
Yep.
Go ahead, Bumbaye. Last word. I'll just come back to one thing. Nobody's changing the goalpost. Erik ten Hag needs to fuck off. 7 or 8 of the first starting lineup needs to fuck off. The coaching staff needs to fuck off.
Perpetual outrage because what you want is never going to happen. So you're going to be angry for a very long time.
Let me finish. The medical staff need to fuck off. Injury and rehab people need to fuck off. The doctor needs to fuck off. All of them need to fuck off. Now, Manchester United in the last 11 years have done it bit by bit. They've always gone for the manager to go and then keep everybody else. That's why we've got Jose Mourinho coaches. We've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coaches. We've got fucking fitness guys from Ole and even Van Gaal days, right? So all of them need to fuck off. So everybody, so if you want to have a clean slate, like I said, I'm here as a fan and I'm saying to everybody, I'm happy for us to spend majority of the fucking budget this summer to get every fucking fucker out. And I'm happy for a coach to come in who can coach and actually promote maybe 3 or maybe 2 out of the youth team under 18s who've just won the league tonight, their Premier League, promote some of them. And you know what? If they're old enough, if they're good enough, they're fucking old enough. Other clubs do that globally. Why can't we do that? That's what I want. And I don't give a fuck where we finish next season. What I'm then expecting is in January to buy 3 players, in the summer to go and buy 3 players, and by that time build the fucking squad while we cleared out every cunt that is performing, added to the performance of this season, and some of them added to the performances of the last 11 years. So Sean, I'm not outraged because of this season.
No. It's you're set up to be perpetually aggrieved because you're never gonna get what you want.
What they kept doing in 12 years, they just changed the fucking manager. And I'm saying
you're never going to get what you want.
The people that can't hear me need to hear this. I want every cunt that fucking contributed to the bullshit to get the fuck out of the football club.
That's not a serious request. That's not a serious statement. It's not a serious analysis. It's not even a serious recommendation for what is going on. Because it's never going to happen.
It's a general sentiment, bro. You know what I mean?
No, it's not a serious sentiment, Dumaye. Like it's not the kind of thing that makes sense or is realistic. It's fantasy, right?
You said your piece. Mumbai and Jarvis, and then we got to go because we're not going to agree. We can be here fucking till the cows come home. I'm saying, as a Manchester United fan, I want the majority of the transfer window to be spent clearing house for everybody that's been, because you've done this study of Manchester United, what was going wrong. David, dodgy fucking Dave, has done a review and knows what has been going wrong. The culture that is rotten at this fucking football club. So get rid of every cunt that's part of that. You get rid of all of that. And then once you do that, you're happy because then you can begin. You can then begin and start something different. But we're going to see it. If they only sack Tenhag, they'll bring another guy in. He'll go, oh, I can get the best out of it. And then the same shit will repeat itself if you're keeping all of that. Because the rot is there. If you don't understand that, Sean, if you don't think that's realistic, that a guy who spent $1 billion and a fucking half on 25% of a football club can't do that, then I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Go ahead, Bombay.
I think Erik Ten Hag is thinking, that's Erik Ten Hag.
Get done for copyright, so I had to mute you. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, the only manager who got to get a complete new background staff. Do you remember his name? That was David Moyes. David Moyes. He sacked everybody and brought in his own, and then everything went. So a background staff is actually important, and I agree with you, Nordin. If we bring in anyone or sack anyone, I think we need to start with the coaches. Try to make something new. Try to build from that, because it obviously doesn't work with all these old coaches who's been here from Van Gaal to Mourinho and Solskjaer, Ragnick, and now Ten Hag. Tomorrow's game, I just want to go back to the game we are talking about, the Sheffield United game. We have some issues. We have a lot of injuries. Eriksen will probably start in midfield with Mainu. We have Casemiro coming in as a centre back. Anthony will play. Rashford is out, so Garnacho will start on the left. It will be an exciting team to see tomorrow, because we actually have a lot of ball players. People who can keep hold of possession, with Casemiro, with Eriksen, with Anthony, and of course Mainu being the heart of the midfield. So maybe they can show up, do something good tomorrow, and impress us. I hope they will, because we as fans, we need something to cling on to now, because even if we are in the FA Cup final, we don't believe anymore. We are 7th in the league. We look like we are going to qualify for the Conference League. When you talk about embarrassment, can you imagine Man United in the Conference League next season? Yeah.
We deserve it. We deserve it.
So we have to fight. We have to fight for pride, fight for the badge, fight for the supporters, and reinstall the belief again in this club. And it has to start somewhere. So why not start tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's go out and win against Sheffield United.
Big up Windy. They're still here. They're still here. That's why they're all here, because Glazers don't believe in hiring anybody. They don't. Because if they have to hire anybody, they have to sign a new contract and they have to have packages. The Glazers don't do that. That's called Glazer fucking-nomics. I've talked about it on here again and again and again. It's simple. I'm sorry, Truth. No, not keeping fucking Erik Ten Hag. Him, the players, the rest of the coaching staff, all of the fucking medical team, they can all fuck off out of this fucking football club. Simple. Simple. It's either that or you keep them all. Everybody stays. It's simple. Simple. And then we repeat the same fucking bullshit year after and year after. No, we don't need no. Listen to me. These people have shown that they're a failure. All of it is a failure. They need to fuck off. Because I don't want these coaches to damage the youth team that we've got coming up now. I don't need them to damage them. We need fresh, new ideas. What did they say? Repeating the same bullshit is a question of insanity. So we need a clear house. And I've said, if it means that Manchester United spend 100 fucking million, I'll be on here every fucking other night defending that decision to get rid of everybody. Because you have to do it. You must do it. You can't leave Listen, it's like you've got a cake or food that was made for you. It's a big plate of food. Half of the food is rotten. Nah, that plate is gone. Half of the food's rotten. The rest of the bacteria is moved into the other half, but you're going to go and eat it. No, the whole plate needs to go. Clear the fucking house. And I'll be happy and I will stand by the club and support the club for fucking clearing house. Because
Hopefully
all
that's
we've
gonna
done in the
start,
last
bro.
11 years is get rid of the managers. That's all we've done. Hired interims, got rid of the interims as well. We had 6 interims. We had 6 interims and 5 managers in nearly 12 years. That's what we've done. So I don't give a fuck what's realistic. What needs to be done needs to be done. Or else the same shit. Whether Tenhag goes or stays, or those players stay and go, both of them need to fuck off. So's the medical department needs to fuck off as well.
Hopefully, bro, that's gonna start. Hopefully, man. This summer, hopefully that will start. I mean, they're making, you know what, the right noise. It could be bullshit, bro, but just let's hang
No,
on,
it's not
wait
bullshit.
till the
It's not
summer,
bullshit.
and let's see. Do you know what? Because we are trying to get that team together of
And
people that
I
are all right.
promise you, Bombay,
Yeah,
if
go on.
Manchester United were the football club they say they were,
Yeah.
Erik ten Hag would have been gone a long time ago. But we're not. We're not that football club, are we? We
No,
pretend. We give the PR. We give the PR and all of that kind of stuff. We're still this big, humongous club, and we like to think of ourselves as fans. Oh, we're still this giant of a football
it's
club.
like, bro, it's
No.
like painted rust. Do you know what I mean? It seems like painted rust. It doesn't feel like Manchester United. It doesn't feel like Manchester United with the medical team. It doesn't look like Man United. It doesn't feel like Man United we mentioned the other night. Look at the amount of petulance and bullshit that comes off from the players. This would never happen before. And it only happens with us. It doesn't happen anywhere else. So there's a lot of underlying problems here. So many things. And if you could just click your fingers, pay an amount of money and have a clean break and a fresh start, I'm sure everybody would like a clean canvas just to start all over again. But I think, man, that's not really realistic. But we have to start making it work and happen
I'm telling you
gradually.
now.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm telling you now. If Manchester United had any things about them, as soon as he got finished bottom in a group like that in the Champions League, he would have got his P45. He would have got his in any so-called big football club in the world. You get sacked. Stay then the next day. Next day when you're out, you get sacked. But here we are, where we are. Big up to everybody, love and light, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Well, today actually for the match reaction. Sheffield probably the worst team in the Premier League history. They will go down as the worst in conceding more goals than the worst team, which was Derby County.
Derby County.
Yeah, so they've conceded more goals than Derby County did in 38. They conceded 84 goals, if I'm not mistaken, or 89 goals, something like that. So what we'll see tomorrow. But one thing though, at least they're in the Premier League. They're not fucking Coventry. At least they're in the Premier League. At least they're playing in the Premier League. Now 100%. And if Manchester United were that club they were, he would have got sacked after that. 7-0 against Liverpool, he would have got sacked. But it is what it is. Peace, love, light. At the end of the day, accountability. But there's no accountability in this football club. Players take the fucking piss. We've got a player who calls himself the captain who can never be subbed. Even when he's injured, he can never be subbed. What does that tell you? What the fuck does that tell you? And then talk about, you got a discipline, Sancho. Like, the way some of these players are taking the piss and Erik ten Hag keeps playing them again and again. And then you got the bare fucking cheek for any of you to come out and go, Sancho was the... Fuck that. Some of them who are playing now, week in, week out, are taking the piss out of him. Week in, week out. Telling him, fuck off. Casemiro's out here missing penalties on purpose. Are you telling me that Casemiro meant to do that? Did not do that on purpose?
He probably did. Let's be honest.
Are we saying that they're not playing no more for the man?
No, they're not.
They had enough.
They're not listening. That was done a long time ago after the Champions League. That was done. The games that they had to get off for was Liverpool games because it's at Old Trafford and they know that they will get personally criticised and they have to be in and around Greater Manchester where they have to go to shops, they have to go to restaurants, they have to be seen. And then fans will be like, fuck you, what the fuck were you doing against Liverpool? So that to me That's all we've done. What else have we done? Other than the 2 games against Liverpool, the league game and the cup game, Jarvis. What games have we done? What have we done really?
It's been a
there's
shit season. That's no
much to
news.
say after this season. I agree, but we know there's nowhere, there's no place for the players to hide. You know, they showed us against Liverpool that they can perform, and basically, as I suspect that they are down tooling on Ten Hag. I don't think they believe in him anymore, and that's a big issue. You know, you have to have the belief in your leader to make things work. If not, you know, it's not going anywhere. So
That's a bit of for me, that's a bit of a chicken or the egg situation, because, okay, yes, you need the players to believe in the manager, but at the same time, you need players who have integrity and who wouldn't down to just because they don't like the manager. And I think we've been at this crossroads before. And if we make the mistake of backing these players over the manager, we're going to be here in a few years again.
I'll ask you a question. You tell me what fan are backing the players.
No, I mean you would retort with your unrealistic scenario of getting rid of 8 players, right? Which in effect it's not. That's not.
Got rid of. Listen to me, Sean. I want to remind you. 2 years ago, 18 months ago, when he first come in the job, Manchester United got rid of how many players? Was it 7 or 8 players?
You're talking about starting 11 players, right? That you want to get rid of now? No, not squad players. Yeah,
Manchester United got rid of 1, 2, 3, I think, of 4 starting players the season before as well.
Listen, you're getting rid of 3 anyway. You're getting rid of 3 anyway already, because Amrabat's on loan, he's going, Eriksen's going, and Martial's going.
Listen, Amrabat was never really playing now. Martial hasn't played anything this season now, so
I'll finish on this. Erik Ten Hag, him and the players can fuck right off. Glazers can fuck off. The Zionists who are bombing and their apartheid states, the state of Israel, can fuck off. The Zionists and anybody who stands with Zionism can fuck off. You're racist, can fuck off. People in the Congo, people who are oppressing them, the multinational corporations that are in there robbing them, minerals can fuck off, right? So can the people who are backing the city lot, who are backing the generals who are slaughtering people in Sudan, they can fuck off as well. So there we go, people. Win, lose or draw, fuck the Glazers, fuck the Jim the fucking rat.
Wembley. We're the famous Man United and we're going to Wembley.
We will see. Only thing we say to you is don't go hiding. Do not go and hide. Do not switch off your phone if you get smashed in that fucking
Who, me? Never. I'll be here.
Make sure you've got as much as you're giving it the full chest right now. Make sure you're about, my friend.
Never. I will never hide. Never. I'm here.
Listen, big up to everybody. Love and light. See you tomorrow for the match reaction. I only meant to go for an hour tonight because I was tired. But
big up, guys.
2 fucking hours. Peace, love, light. Big up to every one of you. And yeah, let me just say this. Big up to Jarvis, Bowley77 at Bowley, BOLE77. Let's so. Make sure you check him out at Sean Thomas, How We See Things. I don't know why yours keep changing, Jarvis. I don't know why yours keep changing every time I change it. I don't know why it keeps changing. Do you log on under a different system when you do manual?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's probably why. Why.
Yeah.
There we go. Big up. Bumbaye, you never see him on here. You might see him on Jarvis Corner, but you never see him anywhere else. Bumbaye is always about. Let's so make sure you check him out. He's shadow banned as well. And Sean Thomas at Sean Thomas, How We See Things, for all your available podcasts. And big up to Tom Journalist 1. Peace, love, light. Take care, people. Good night.
Big up, guys.
Manchester United are shite. Fuck that fraud. Ten Hag. Peace. Take care.
Take care, guys.